Mega History Presence.
Paris, 1800. The cannons have fallen silent, the coups and conspiracies subdued, but France remains a fractured nation. A decade of revolution has swept away the monarchy, the aristocracy, and the church, yet in their place, chaos reigns. In the countryside, peasants till fields under 6 different legal systems. In cities, merchants haggle over contracts rendered meaningless by contradictory laws. Women inherit property in Lyon but lose it in Marseille. A murderer in Normandy walks free while a thief in Bordeaux hangs for stealing bread. Into this maelstrom steps Napoleon Bonaparte, the 31-year-old first consul, battle-hardened and power-tested. He has conquered Italy and Egypt, crushed rebellions, and seized the state, but now, he declares, my greatest battle is not with armies, but with anarchy. I will give France not just order, but a soul. This is the story of the Napoleonic Code, a legal revolution that reshaped not only France but the modern world, a monument of reason, equality, and ruthless control that became Napoleon's true immortality. The French Revolution had promised liberty, equality, fraternity, but by 1800 it had delivered fragmentation. The revolutionaries, in their zeal to erase the past, abolished all existing laws, feudal, royal, and canonical, but replaced them with a patchwork of decrees, many contradictory or unenforceable. Over 14,000 outdated edicts clashed with radical new principles. Inheritance laws swung from favoring firstborn sons to mandating equal division, then back again. Marriage was a civil contract in Paris but a sacred vow in devout provinces. In the absence of unified courts, justice depended on geography, bribes, or brute force. Napoleon saw this chaos as both a threat and an opportunity. France is a building without foundations, he told his inner council. I will lay the cornerstone myself. His ambition was staggering, to distill the Enlightenment's ideals, reason, secularism, meritocracy, into a single, coherent legal framework. But this was no abstract intellectual exercise. For Napoleon, the code was a tool of control, a way to cement his power by making the state synonymous with order, progress, and national identity. In August 1800, Napoleon appointed a commission of 4 jurists, the pragmatic Tranchet, the scholarly Portalis, the revolutionary bigot de Préameneu, and the aristocratic Mailleville. Their task, draft a civil code in months, not years. The setting was emblematic, they worked in Napoleon's private study at the Tuileries Palace, surrounded by maps of battlefields and busts of Roman emperors. Napoleon dominated the process. Though no lawyer, he possessed a razor-sharp mind and an autodidact's grasp of history. He attended 57 of 102 drafting sessions, often presiding until 2 a.m., interrogating every clause. Is this just, he would demand. Is it clear? Could a farmer understand it? His interventions were decisive. Equality before the law, he insisted on abolishing all remnants of feudal privilege. No more nobles, no more serfs, only citizens. Secular marriage, against conservative pushback, he enshrined civil marriage and divorce, declaring, love is not a sacrament, it is a contract. Property rights, he protected private property as inviolable and sacred, winning over peasants and bourgeoisie. But contradictions revealed his authoritarian core. While granting fathers near absolute authority over children, the family is a miniature state, he restricted women's rights, denying them legal adulthood. Women belong to the bedroom, not the courtroom, he quipped, a betrayal of revolutionary feminism. The code's most personal impact struck Napoleon's own heart. By 1809, his marriage to Joséphine had become a political liability. She could not bear him an heir, and his dream of dynasty demanded a son. The code provided the tool. Article 230 permitted divorce for mutual consent, or, crucially, for a wife's adultery while ignoring a husband's. On December 15, 1809, in the throne room of the Tuileries, Napoleon and Joséphine signed the divorce decree. She wept uncontrollably, he trembled, his voice breaking as he praised her 16 years of devotion. Privately, he confessed, I loved her more than my ambition, but crowns are built on sacrifice. Joséphine kept her title as empress but lost her status. The code, designed to stabilize society, had shattered its architect's private world. The Civil Code, 1804, was only the cornerstone. Napoleon's reforms penetrated every facet of French life. 1. The Bank of France, 1800. He centralized the chaotic financial system, stabilizing the franc and funding infrastructure. 2. The Université de France, 1808. A state monopoly on education, training bureaucrats and soldiers loyal to the regime. 3. The Legion of Honor, 1802. Rewarding merit over birth, binding elites to his person. Men are ruled by baubles, he admitted. 4. The Concordat, 1801. Restoring ties with the Vatican, but making bishops state employees. I will govern the church or destroy it. 5. The Gendarmerie and National Police Force, crushing brigands and dissenters alike. Each reform served dual purposes, emancipating citizens while binding them to the state. Peasants gained land but paid heavy taxes. Workers could change jobs but faced draconian labor laws. I am the people's emperor, Napoleon boasted. They obey because I speak their hopes aloud. The code's influence exploded beyond France. As Napoleon's armies marched, they carried it like a banner. Italy and Germany imposed directly, eroding feudal privileges. Louisiana, 1812. Adopted verbatim, shaping U.S. civil law from New Orleans to the Great Plains. Egypt and Japan inspired modernization during the 19th century. Latin America, Bolivar and San Martin used it to break Spanish colonial law. Even Napoleon's enemies adopted it. Prussia's reformers called it the grammar of freedom. Russia's Decembrists smuggled copies to challenge the Tsar. By 1900, it influenced laws across 4 continents, a paradox, as Madame de Staël noted. He enslaved Europe, but gave it the tools to be free. For all its brilliance, the code exposed Napoleon's authoritarian core. Freedom of the press vanished, newspapers became propaganda sheets. Political dissent meant exile or death. The code's vaunted equality excluded women, colonial subjects, and workers. In Haiti, he reinstated slavery, betraying the revolution's ideals for sugar profits. Principles are for philosophers, he shrugged. Rulers need results. The tension climaxed in 1804. Exploiting an assassination plot, likely staged, he crowned himself emperor, placing the laurels on his own head. The code, once a beacon of reason, now served a despot. I am the revolution, he declared, but in truth, he had entombed it. In 1821, on his deathbed in St. Helena, Napoleon whispered, "My true glory is not the 40 battles I won, but my civil code. It will live forever." He was right. The code outlived his empire, his dynasty, and his enemies. It became the bedrock of civil law for 70 nations, from Argentina to Lebanon. Its principles, secularism, meritocracy, clear property rights, defined modernity. Yet its contradictions endure. It liberated serfs but silenced women. It inspired democrats but served dictators. In its pages, we see Napoleon's essence, a visionary who believed law could tame chaos, an idealist who sacrificed liberty for order, a conqueror who sought immortality not in land, but in ideas. The boy from Corsica, once an outsider, had etched his name into the DNA of civilization. The cannons fell silent, the law spoke forever. Next episode, the glitter and hubris of the empire, coronation, conquest, and the fatal march toward Moscow.